The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
Good morning, pop culture. We are live. Today is Tuesday, November the 6th, 2018. It's 7:46 a.m. and it's time to start your day off right with Good Morning Pop Culture. So we're coming off of a good show from yesterday. We had a good single release video, and now we're back to talk about the world of entertainment once again. Now, today's show is going to be a little different because today is a very, very special day. So be prepared for a very charged episode of Good Morning Pop Culture. But, as always, it fits into the theme of pop culture, and as usual, it's geek culture. So we're going to be talking about Captain Marvel. You can read the title. You know what's coming down the pipe. Yeah, not going to be pretty. But we're going to be talking about Captain Marvel. We're going to be talking about some Star Wars rumors. Fans sent in a video about the Clone Wars being a kid's show, and I had a chance to check that out. And we also have a couple of shout-outs to make. So basically, it's a really, really packed Good Morning Pop Culture once again. By the way, I'd like to personally thank everyone who went out of their way to check out yesterday's archived video on the Good Morning Pop Culture channel. They said, hey, I'm just here to help get the view count up. So I'd like to thank everyone that did that. A lot of people, I thank you guys. You really care about the health of the channel, and that makes me feel really, really good. So we're here, we're live, let's do this. So as I said earlier, today is November the 6th, 2018. It's election day. So today, millions of people across the country are going to scurry to their local places and go out and make a difference. There are dozens and dozens of issues that could potentially change your life. There's all kinds of outcomes, but one voice will rise above all. It's not a voice of reason, it's not a voice of experience, but it is the voice of a 29-year-old Californian who plays a fictional superhero. Yes, folks, Captain Marvel has called out her millions of fans in an attempt to urge you to hashtag get out and vote. So, you know, when I think of people that I want to listen to, Brie Larson doesn't even make it close to the list. This Smilegate thing wasn't enough. If it wasn't enough for you, it's definitely enough for me. Now we have this hashtag vote bullshit. She says Captain Marvote, and thankfully Brie Cheese herself was self-aware to know a shitty pun when she heard it. Now I know she's not telling you which way to vote, but her past clarion call for less white men to make, movie critic decisions, well, that kind of determines what's going on. So thankfully, her cries did not fall on deaf ears because A Wrinkle in Time went on to make billions of dollars at the box office. No, it didn't. No, it's not even close. It was a flop. So based on her previous comments, we know which way Brie Larson leans, which is fine. She has that right to. But here's the bigger question. Why does Marvel, not why, but does Marvel feel the same way? You see, Captain Marvel is their biggest attempt at rebranding. Look, Captain Marvel is at best a tertiary character. She was launched in the 70s, and they keep constantly relaunching. She's had more relaunches as of late than any other hero ever. See, the whole Captain Marvel thing is just this third wave attempt to ruin Marvel Comics, and they've succeeded there. Big time. Those books are unreadable, and Stealing Solo has actually outsold some of the Captain Marvel trade paperbacks. But the MCU has been great for a whole decade, 10 straight years. Yes, some films are lesser than others, but damn it, I still stand by those movies. Their bad movies are better than a lot of other movies, even some that get a lot of Oscar praise. I'd rather watch any MCU flick than Avatar, ever. And we're going to be talking about Avatar later on down the road. But here we are. So take a look at that picture. I'm looking at it. I see no smiles. I see no fucks given. But what I do see is rock the vote. Now, I know that they're trying to evoke this whole 90s nostalgia wave with Captain Marvel, and you're probably asking yourself, rock the vote? Oh my god, that's like 30 years old at this point. Close, 28. But for the younger listeners out there, I'm going to tell you what Rock the Vote is. It was something that you would hear way back in the day. In the 90s, you'd see Bono and all these other people. Rock the vote, rock the vote, rock the vote. Okay, rock the vote. Let's talk about what Rock the Vote actually is for those who don't know. So Rock the Vote is a nonprofit organization, progressively aligned group in the United States whose mission is to engage and build the political power of young people. It was founded in 1990 by Virgin Records America co-chairman Jeff Ayeroff to encourage young people to vote. It is geared towards increasing voter turnout among ages 18 to 24. Rock the Vote is known for its celebrity spokespeople and its partnership with MTV. So, like a lot of things, it comes out and then it falls apart later down the road. So, after the 2004 election, it had, is that the year? Yeah. They had over $700,000 in debt. So that's kind of killing Rock the Vote. But Captain Marvel, much like Marvel itself, is trying to dig up shit from the past to remain relevant, to remain cool, to talk about something that just isn't really popular anymore. Rock the Vote. That's like when the WWF did Smack Down Your Vote. It was a little less partisan, but it was still kind of weird to watch The Rock at the Republican National Convention. I remember as a kid turning on C-SPAN. I liked The Rock so much that I watched C-SPAN to watch The Rock talk for like 3 minutes. He walked out to his theme song, he said something about getting out and voting, and then his theme song played again after he did If You Smell It, The Rock Is Cooking, and he left, and I never watched C-SPAN again. That's how big of a fan I was. Now, I was only 12 years old at the time, so I couldn't go out and rock the vote. I could go play WWF No Mercy, or with my Titantron live action figures, but I couldn't rock the vote. But these campaigns are good, I guess. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not really that political of a person. I live my life the way I want to live, how I think it is right, and I don't really have any regrets. I don't live aligned with a political party, left or right. It doesn't really matter for this show. It only matters for this show when celebrities that mold, and yeah, I know Brie and mold is a shitty joke, but celebrities that mold the pop culture consciousness, when they step into the political arena and they over politicize something that shouldn't be politicized in the beginning, like a movie, like Captain Marvel. See, look, Captain Marvel is just popcorn, fun, stupid movie. It's not a They Live. It's not meant to be something deeper. It's not meant to be propaganda. Marvel movies are meant to play across the world, make billions of dollars. You can't guilt people in foreign countries to go see your movies. You tried that with The Last Jedi, and what, 7 days, you lost 92% of your screenings? I thought China was this next new bright future for Hollywood. Oh, we're going to focus on the Chinese market. I guess they forgot that, Chinese people have resources and funds and their own movies to make, and that's why if you look at the list of the highest grossing films of this year, I believe, 7 and 8 were both Chinese films that I've never even heard of. So Marvel is now ditching that. Maybe Disney is just jettisoning this whole Chinese thing, and they're moving towards trying to just go focus on America and dictate the thoughts and beliefs of Americans. But I just don't think that's a smart move with Captain Marvel. And the reason I keep bringing this up is because Rock the Vote is clearly, unabashedly, one way. And that's fine. That's their thing. But I just don't think that belongs in Marvel because it hurts Marvel. It pisses people off. You already have a group of people who are pissed off at Brie Larson's stupid comments about we need less white male critics. And that's why A Wrinkle in Time failed. Again, Brie Larson, the movie failed because people didn't go see it and it didn't look very good. So blame every person, no matter what color they are, for the movie's flop. I mean, you have you have like $1 million. You're really a nobody underneath it all. But you have $1 million. Give $500,000 to the box office. Just call up Disney and say, hey, A Wrinkle in Time was a masterpiece. I want to buy $500,000 worth of tickets and whatever. Put me on as executive producer on the Blu-ray. That sounds stupid. That is stupid. But so is her going out of her way to use her winning an award as a political platform. Because all you're doing is turning off potential customers. See, like I said in our biggest video of all time, the Kathleen Kennedy video, which is nearing 1.1 million views now, the movie business is just that, a business. Okay? And when you shun a certain percentage of your consumer base, you're going to hurt yourself. You're going to have diminishing returns. I don't think that's very smart for Captain Marvel to promote Rock the Vote and all this other stuff because, as they said, it's very left-leaning. And the funny thing about Rock the Vote is the day after the 2016 presidential election, Rock the Vote President and Executive Director Carolyn DeWitt issued a statement on the behalf of the organization expressing their disappointment with the results of the election. So basically, it's another Orange Man bad, but hidden inside of another Captain Marvel message. So, so folks, remember, don't worry about today. This channel, we endorse Doomcock, always. We always endorse Doomcock. But remember, go vote in March. Go vote with your wallets for Captain Marvel. Remember what this shit was back in November. Captain Marvel wasn't necessarily this movie that was going to inspire and entertain you. They chose to make it overly political. And the MCU, maybe Chris Evans says stupid shit in public as Chris Evans. But this is Captain Marvel, the character. I'm looking at an image of her from the film, Rock the Vote, official Brie Larson, all of this shit. I see Marvel. Marvel. You want to talk about branding, strong branding? Marvel has one of the strongest brands in history, not just the world today, in history. Marvel was a strong brand in the 60s. Yes, in the 60s when it was just the House of Ideas. And once it was purchased by the House of Mouse, whatever. But it's still been a strong brand. It is the premier toy brand. I mean, it saves Star Wars. It is everything. So that brand is so strong that when I see Captain Marvel, I know Marvel endorses this shit. So everything you see on TV, Captain Marvel endorses. Just remember that shit in March. I mean, I'm not calling for a boycott ever because that's too soy-filled for a guy like me to just induce. I can't do it. But I will say this, if that movie flops, Marvel has no one but themselves to blame. If they have staked her as this future thing, this isn't going to be a Michael Keaton situation where she comes out and blows us all away with her range. We get it. She can act. She's won an Oscar. Congratulations. So did, Tatum O'Neal? Where is she at today? Nowhere. Most people don't even know who she is. My point I'm trying to make is you're not going to build your brand up. Like this whole 10-year thing, it felt like the natural ending. And basically you're going to infect poison into the MCU lifeblood. This is the beginning of the end, people. I don't want to sound like Doomsday Prophesizer, but I will because fuck Superman. Captain Marvel goes this route, gets overly political, no matter which way this election goes. I'm not here to try to sway you, make you feel bad. Even if you disagree with what you think I'm talking about, I don't care. You're here. Thank you. That's what I care about. We're here as a community. Captain Marvel gets too political. In the toilet. People are pissed off. Avengers, less than stellar returns. It's over. People get killed off. People are pissed off. Okay, so the Marvel movies. You see a decline in viewership. You see a decline at the conventions. Thankfully, The Big Bang Theory is ending. The Walking Dead's on its way out anyway, because you just can't kill this fucking thing. You know what? The Walking Dead is truly the greatest show, because it's been dead for a long time, but it still keeps on going. It's truly life-imitating art. But we continue down this path of all these big properties dying, comic book sales in the toilet, and basically you are watching geek culture die right in front of your faces. I could make a stupid joke about Padme and, it dies to thunderous applause, but I will be on the sidelines watching because it's all self-inflicted. It's not bad timing or it's a really good movie, but people just weren't paying attention to it. It's the biggest, it's formerly the best, and it's shooting itself in the foot and just not getting medical attention. It's bleeding out right on the floor. You know what? It's nothing but a flesh wound. Okay, motherfucker. Well, I'm going to watch you bleed out. I'm going to watch you go, and it's fine. So we had a bunch of super chats roll in. Let me read some of these. Thank you very much for your patience, guys. Michael Rodriguez, can't wait for Stealing Solo. When can we expect it to drop? Michael Rodriguez, thank you very much for all your support. I see you all the time in the chat. Stealing Solo will be to you. I will ship it out in February of 2019. So it'll be there then. I am working on it. It's going smoothly. And then as soon as it's done on my end, I get it colored and lettered. And then it doesn't take very long to get it printed. And then once it comes back to here, I will take and I will ship out each one of your copies. So as soon as, as soon as I get these books back in my hands, I will do a live stream of me boxing them, sending them out. We'll make a little game of it. Maybe I'll take them over to Phil's house and people can help me out. Who knows? But Michael, again, thank you very much. We also had a message from... Oh, hold on. Where'd it go? Tim Riggs. Thank you very much, Tim Riggs. You should have seen the celebrity shit show that was Telethon for America on YouTube live last night. That chat was brutally hilarious to watch. Oh, my God. I wish I would have seen that. But I was guilty playing Red Dead Redemption 2. And yeah, I didn't stream it. I'm so sorry, folks. But some gnarly shit went down, and no, I didn't kick a pig this time. I should have watched that last night. It's funny to... It's just... I mean... I hate to say it, but we all love a train wreck. This is just a train wreck in the making. Because you're just going to turn people off. You can turn people off. Like with Star Wars, even that movie, while it was political, wasn't as political as Brie Larson's being. Look at Brie. You're not making a point, a stance. You're not really doing anything. You're not helping the kids of the future, the next generation, all this other shit. All you're doing is, hurting people. Yes, like people are saying in the chat, Ghostbusters 2016 publicly endorsed Hillary Clinton because the movie was a female empowerment film. Well, we saw how that went. They both failed to achieve their goals. So thank you, Ghostbusters and Paul Feig. Nobody likes you. Go home. You're not part of the public consciousness. Every time you will pop up your ugly head, we will just boom, right down. Go. No, this is like a whack-a-mole game. Whack-a-feeg. Don't like you, Paul. Don't like you. Tanae, good morning. Thank you very much for your super chat, Tanae. I appreciate that. I appreciate you being here. Good morning, my friend. So, this whole Captain Marvel thing, I'm glad you guys feel, like we're on the same page. So, like I said, this image is so biased. There's so much. It's so dense, like Rick McCallum would say. There's so much going on in that message, that image that you're looking at. So, this is what I say to you guys. Remember, Hollywood can't dictate the world anymore. All the power it once had to captivate your imagination and subvert your expectations, well, it's gone bye-bye. My big question to all of you, and I'm very interested in, is do you like the Marvel films with a side of political rhetoric? Because personally, after the $12 popcorn and the diabetes-inducing soda, I'm full. I'm ready to just go and leave the theater. I don't need to have some more useless garbage shoved down my gullet. I've had jujubes, I've had Thin Mints and Junior Mints and all those things, because I sneak in candy sometimes and cookies. I've had all those things, and now I'm full. So Captain Marvel, personally, I don't feel like this has any space inside of the MCU. And I don't think I'm alone. So Wonder Woman is greater than Captain Marvel. I agree. I liked Wonder Woman. She was fine. She was fun. Gal Gadot did a good job. She went from an actress who I thought was a robot to somebody who had some empathy, and I was like, okay, I'm feeling this. Was it the greatest movie? Hell no. Was it better than a lot of shit I've seen in my life? Yeah. Solid film. Tim Riggs, thank you very much again. I'd rather spend 2 hours watching a dumpster fire live on YouTube, mundane Matt immolating himself on #Killstream, than Captain Marvel. That's sad, Marvel. Well, Tim, you're picking like one of the greatest social media events of the decade versus another Marvel film. You see, the mundane Matt Killstream thing was a once-in-a-lifetime event, an extravaganza, if you will. And it was really bizarre how he was on the High Council here right before all of that happened. And now I don't watch the man. I'm not subscribed anymore. He's off doing his own thing in La La Land. Hey, go do what you got to do. But that is all still in our hearts and our minds. But Marvel is becoming slowly becoming irrelevant. I know it seems so early to call in the towel, and watch, Captain Marvel's going to open. Oh, it's the biggest March opening with a female director. Okay, Hollywood Reporter and every other article writer out there. That's a really bad sentence. Article writer out there. Every other writer out there. Show me how many films have opened to this many theaters, or just how many films have opened in March directed by a female. It's probably single digit. That's like saying this is the highest grossing comic book written and drawn by Jeff Hicks. It's the only one. So of course it's going to be the number one of whatever fictional title or goal or level you give it. So they're going to take this number one opening by a female director, which is co-directed by a woman. It's not even fully directed by a woman. Patty Jenkins in DC knocked it out of the park. Captain Marvel, half-assed attempt, just like Brie Larson, half-assed person. But they're going to hide behind that for the opening weekend, and then they're going to act like it's so great. But when it drops 78% in its second weekend. No one's going to report it but us. Then we're going to hear how are all these angry alt-right trolls. This podcast, it's only 25% white, but that's still too white for a lot of these people because we have a differing opinion. Like I said, we're not beholden to them. We don't have stockholders. We don't have sponsors that actually dictate the show. Like today, I forgot to plug this at the beginning, but we're brought to you by T. Allen Diaz's Lunatic City series, which links in the description below, as well as Yakov Merkson's Galaxy Ascendant series. So if you guys like independent art, check those out, along with Black Forest from our friend Mike from earlier in the show, and help out some independent artists. But Tim, I think another thing, your super chat has another level to it that I don't think a lot of people would read into, and that's entertainment is slowly changing from big companies to small produced content. I mean, I'm a guy in one room, and I've reached almost 16 million people, or at least been viewed 16 million times. Without the power of the internet, that's not possible. People are tired of being talked down to. They have stuff shoved down their throat, and then there's other forms of entertainment. I mean, I can reach 75,000 people. That's pretty good for one dude. All of us on the High Council, we reach about 1,500 people live per week. I mean, we outdo a lot of big YouTube channels. And depending on the week, I mean, I've had 5,000 people watching us live at one point. That was insane. So I think people are looking elsewhere for entertainment. As Hollywood and, just that portion of the audience, well, that's not even the right way to say it. As Hollywood doubles down on the political rhetoric to try to change you and beat you over the head, people just go elsewhere. They just stop going to watch movies. They just stop subscribing to Netflix or watching TV shows. That's the power you have. Folks, never, ever forget you have all the power. You are the consumer. While it seems like a futile effort at times, do not give in just because you think everyone else is doing it, because I guarantee you there are thousands of other people out there who feel like you do. And when you all say enough is enough and it's time for a change, not to quote Owen Hart's theme song, and you all do something about it, then you hurt the big thing. You hurt the movie, you hurt Solo, you hurt this, you hurt that. Never ever forget that you hold all the power in your hands. So all you need to do is find a communal place to get together, discuss your displeasures with the entertainment, no matter what it may be. You may not like a movie because it was bad, like The Last Jedi, or you may not like Captain Marvel because it gets overly political and you're tired of hearing how men are dumb. That's just not how Hollywood's going to win this war. They're going to make themselves more irrelevant. They're like that little kid throwing a fucking temper tantrum in the middle of the store. I don't get what I want. I don't get what I want. You don't get shit. You don't get my money. That's what you don't get, Hollywood. So shut up. Give me a movie with explosions and fun, and maybe we'll talk in 6 to 8 months after I kind of get over this garbage. But thank you, Tim Riggs. Swinging Cod, thank you very much. Remember the 5th of November when Breed did brain farts and yelled fans, Timber! Fans yelled, Timber! If you need Breed to tell you to vote, you shouldn't. I like your last sentence. If you need Breed to tell you to vote, you shouldn't. I looked into a lot of the hashtag vote stuff this morning because I got up super early. I went up to the gym early because I have to take my grandma out. But I thought, the only celebrity out there who is doing this right, and you know what? I'm going to pull this tweet up. I don't usually do tweets, the morning tweet show, but this tweet was actually worth it. So just give me 10 seconds to get this tweet, because this guy, this person, we're big fans of. And I thought to myself, we really don't need to be beat over the head today by a lot of celebrities trying to change the way we think. They can't change the way we think. They can inspire us, they can entertain us, but they really can't change the way we think. But then I see this, and I thought to myself, this guy gets it. This guy knows how to talk to the people. He might even be the people's champion. But I looked up hashtag vote, and I saw this, and my opinion on the whole day changed. So here we go. Get out and vote. Don't do it for me, do it for the little ones. Hashtag vote. Now check out that photo of The Rock with a little tiny Kevin Hart. It's shit like that I really enjoy in these trying times, in quotation marks, because I'm having a good laugh. The Rock is the perfect celebrity because he can make you think, he can call for things, but he can make you want to do that. And that's the most powerful tool he has, because he's made himself such a likable guy that the left and the right and anyone in between can enjoy. Maybe you don't like his movies, but watch him on TV. And the best part is, it's taken him years to get here, but he's there and he's doing it great. I think Not because I'm a wrestling fan or a fan of his, but I think if you ever want to make it in the real world as somebody, as a public figure, go after, model yourself after The Rock. Don't be a stinky, non-washed Brie Larson where you just bitch and moan all day and complain and use your platform. Be like The Rock. Look at The Rock. The Rock has 13 million followers. Brie Larson has 1 million followers. The Rock is 13 times better than Brie Larson on social media. You know what? He's 1,000 times better as a person. I don't see Brie Larson giving to charity. The Rock does. I don't see Brie Larson going out of her way to help people. The Rock does. You ever see that video where he gives a stuntman his own personal truck because he helped him in the movie? No, you've never seen Brie Larson do that because she just bitched up a storm because people said, "Oh, you didn't smile." That is the problem. That is the next era of people in Hollywood. You're going to get stuck with all these garbage, and I do mean garbage people, these vain assholes. Before social media, you never knew who was a vain asshole. Now you do. It's up in front of your face. The nice thing, though, is we have access, and we can avoid it. We can ignore it. We can just say, "No thanks, I don't like politics with my movies, stinky cheese lady. I will go watch literally anything but your movie. I will wait for world-class bullshitters to review it because they're honest." And look, even though Dion is crazy at times, Dion's crazy all the time. And by the way, I've been naming all my horses in Red Dead Dion, and then I punched a horse and died because it kicked me in the head. I saved the video, and I'm going to send that to Dion and play it on a loop and give him nightmares. But did you get what I'm getting at with the Rock thing? You can be... This is how you subvert expectations. Oh, hashtag vote. Oh my God, what's The Rock going to say? Am I going to be pissed off? No, I laughed. Levity is the perfect thing for this political climate, for this entertainment climate. Even if you're from a different part of the world and this means nothing to you, at least you know right now that there's humor to be had in all of this. And don't let it tear apart the community that you're in. I've seen a lot of people get really testy in social media groups because they feel a different way. I've even seen toy groups get overly sensitive due to politics. And that's, it's not cool. We're not our politics. We're people. We have a lot going on more so than just politics. So I think people need to take that into account when, shit like this happens. So let's see. Tim Riggs, thank you very much again. I'm a little behind. It's important to watch the $/ theaters to avoid spin like that. Spent 5 years in corporate financial reporting for IBM. I know all the tricks. And I'm glad we got a guy like you on our side because you can teach us what to look for, how to report it. So, Tim, when the Captain Marvel stuff comes out, shoot me an email. I will ask you for your help again. Hell, if you want to come on the show, you can. You can explain it to the people out there. These spin doctors, I hate that band, 90s reference. But these people always try to twist it to look better than it truly is. Because it's all about a headline. How many articles do you go read that the headline, it's clickbait. Clickbait article, headline, you go, there's no substance. At least with YouTube, a lot of people that are making content may give you a clickbaity title, but then there's substance to the video. You got to get people in the store. It's like Costco. You got to get people in somehow with those $5 chickens, but then you're inside and you realize there's a lot of great value inside the store. So I hope that you guys look at us like a Costco, because Costco is awesome. And it's not an official endorsement, but I do love free samples. Grocery Stores of America, more free samples. That's the platform that Doomcock runs on right now. More free samples at your local grocery store. Press 1 if you agree. If anybody disagrees, what are you? Superfan Adam Shawhan, thank you very much for everything. I backed you, Jeff, instead of 2 days entertainment. Thank you, Superfan Adam Shawhan. We call you Superfan for more than just backing Stealing Solo, trust me. Superfan Adam Shawhan is the only dude that has 12 TVs in his house all playing this show right now. So thank you so much, and I hope all 25 dogs are enjoying the show. Seamus McCallaham, thank you very much. Marcus and McPhee wrote the best Marvel movie characters. Those solo character flicks are all known, the solo characters flicks are all unknown women and people of color that already show no understanding. So Marcus and McFeely, which ones did they write? Did they write like, let me look that up real quick, because for as much as I enjoy the MCU flicks, I'm guilty. I don't read who writes these things. Marcus, I hate my big giant hands. McFeely. Okay, Marcus McFeely. Let's see. They wrote, okay. They have a joint Wikipedia page. So let me check this out. They wrote Captain America the First Avenger, good movie. The Winter Soldier, fantastic. Civil War, I love it. Thor: The Dark World, and Avengers: Infinity War. Okay, so you're right, Seamus. They have written the best films. I don't need Chris Evans to tuck me in at night and make me feel safe about being American or proud or anything like that. But I don't need any of these characters to go out of their way to try to just be a shitheel about all this stuff. Thank you, Brie Larson. They even created Agent Carter, which I liked. There you go. There's a show about a strong female that was fun and likable. I liked Agent Carter. Yeah, maybe I had stupid reasons why, but you know what? They were good enough for me, and I watched the show. Not a lot of people did. And it's really not about women. It's not about politics. Some of these things fail because they're lesser known characters. In the case of Agent Carter, she was created... No, she wasn't created for the MCU, was she? No. Sharon Carter, Agent 13's been out the whole time. I'm just... never mind. She was not created. My point is, that character wasn't well known. Captain Marvel is slightly more well known than these other characters. Could that hurt Brie Larson in the long run? I don't know. But I guarantee you, if this movie is a flop, everything's going to be spun into political rhetoric, and we're going to be talked down to. But Marvel cannot afford to do that. Again, certain things sound repetitive, but certain things need to be repeated so people understand. Marvel doesn't have the luxury of being political between Captain Marvel and Avengers: Infinity War. This is their, no pun intended, this is their big nut of the year. This is it. Star Wars ain't going to do it. Star Wars is not going to meet the numbers that Infinity War reached. But Jeff, it's the finale of the Star Wars trilogy. Motherfucker, it's the finale of the worst Star Wars trilogy. At least Revenge of the Sith had something exciting to look for. Oh, he's going to become Darth Vader, the best character of all time. Okay, I'll go see the movie. It's the last Star Wars forever. What is this one? Oh, it's not the last Star Wars forever. It's the last one for a while until the Game of Thrones guys make it, and the TV show, and the video game, and the toy. Star Wars is going to be around forever. They're ending shit. People aren't going to go out of curiosity to see, I wonder how it ends because Kylo Ren is so in-depth. No, a lot of people are going to skip it. We're going to go watch it for the channel and probably have a good time laughing at it. But Disney cannot get themselves into this shit until they control 100% of everything. The Disneyfication's not complete. It's not too late, guys. It's not too late to hope that Universal and, well, Sony's a lost cause because they're garbage, but Universal, Paramount, Warner Brothers, all these other studios, it's not too late for them to get their shit together. I'm not saying they need to join forces, but they can pump out other blockbusters. Mission Impossible is a Paramount flick. That was one of the best movies I saw all year. Not as good as Infinity War, but had Infinity War been shitty and the marketing been political, then maybe I would have changed my tune. I don't think Hollywood takes into account how people feel on a daily basis. I remember being a kid, you would see the Spider-Man trailer, and maybe on MTV they would show like a little clip of Kirsten Dunst or Tobey Maguire, and that's all you got. Nowadays, if you pay attention, you can see stuff from this movie every single day from the people that make it, and that might turn you off. So Disney may think that social media is this great tool, this marketing tool. All it is a way for you to fuck up. So keep your mouth shut when you need to be. So what is it Al Pal says? When to talk and when to pray or whatever? Marvel's hoping that this doesn't sink the ship. You can kill off Iron Man and continue this run, hopefully. But if you continue with Shuri as Ironheart and you have to hear about a decade's worth of strong women and all this shit in these movies, you're going to turn off the fan base. And it's not about sexist fans. It's you're an asshole in the public eye, and that doesn't work ever. Todd Rector, thank you very much. Let me get back to your super chat. I feel bad. What is better, comics or wrestling? Well, right now I'm not buying comics and I'm not watching wrestling, so neither. But if I had to choose, I would go wrestling because with Roman Reigns being gone, Roman Reigns, get better. I'm sorry for your cancer. And, well, Brock Lesnar's the champion. Oh, God. Well, here's the thing. There's more than WWE, and other wrestling is awesome. There is more than Marvel and DC, but I'm not loving those comics because all these people that are making the comics, you're not hitting that sweet spot for me. Your comics can send a message, but when they exist solely as a message and they lack in the storytelling or the art department, then I don't buy. I will buy a good story. I will buy good art. But I also need something to look forward to in it. I'm not going to buy one issue. Like, I bought the Dick Tracy book because I thought it was Mike Allred, and it turns out it was Mike Allred doing the cover and somebody else doing the interiors, and no more Dick Tracy comics. It wasn't that good. So I'll go with wrestling. The Pui, good morning, Jeff. The Pui, morning to you as always, my friend. Thank you for joining us here on another day, a glorious day, a beautiful sunny November day for Good Morning Pop Culture before the frost hits, before it gets really shitty here in Ohio. And then it's going to get sunny, and it's going to get shitty, and it's going to get sunny, and it's going to get shitty, and then it's going to snow, and then it's going to get hot, and I'm going to wear shorts. The best here is when it snows, gets hot, and it turns into Silent Hill outside. Scary, but fun. Tim Riggs, thank you very much again. Brought the URL Battlefront culture to start documenting the culture wars from a normie's perspective. Hope it starts up in early December. Well, Tim, I'm going to check that out personally. Let me take a screenshot of the super chat because I actually am going to be moving into talking about some of the culture war stuff. I actually have quite a few things, and you know what's funny too. For those out there who've ever watched King of the Hill, maybe you think it's one thing, maybe it's not your cup of tea. But if you pay attention to some of the stuff King of the Hill was talking about 7 to 10 years ago, they were really, really ahead of their time. There's an episode where Hank goes to get his license changed because there's a questionable... they accidentally mark him as female instead of male, but they go into this whole gender spectrum and they make fun of the whole situation. I'm a male, can't you take a look at it? Legally I can't, and all this other stuff. It's funny, the red tape that Hank Hill goes up against is now where we are in society, and it's really weird. I mean, people always say, we need Al Bundy, we need this, we need that. Look, I like Al Bundy, and I'd love to see Ed O'Neill actually do it with a set of balls again. But Hank Hill really was a man ahead of his time, and handled it in a much better manner. I feel like King of the Hill has a lot more learning behind it. There's a lot to be learned from King of the Hill, more so than you would possibly think. So if you're on Hulu, check it out. I can't because I'll get sidetracked and binge watch it for 7 hours straight. But I did learn a little bit. Oh, and also there's a place called Tico's Tacos. So Rose Tico, well, your taco shack existed somewhere else. So people are loving the Costco thing. Good. Lots of ones, lots of ones. Liquid Metal Pro, go home. You're drunk. Yes, John, the soft bigotry and the whole wanting to be first in entertainment. This whole desire to be first. Now, look it. I love when people come to the video and go first, or come here in the morning and say first one here, stuff like that. That's a different thing. That's fun. That's a little game you guys like to play. I like to play it sometimes. But as I've said, and I will continue to repeat this, as entertainment becomes more murky, excuse me, not more murky, murkier, this desire to always be first, but not produce a good first, hurts all of us. Star Wars may have not been the first movie ever made, but it became the most important movie ever made because of what it achieved. Achievement is not... You can't take and move the marker backwards to make your movie achieve more. The marker is placed. You need to blow past that marker. Once you have, then your movie becomes relevant. Your movie becomes something that people aspire to be like, that are impressed by. Again, the first Star Wars movie. What else is a groundbreaking film? I hate Avatar, but it broke ground in terms of 3D effects and all that shit. They didn't, regress 3D entertainment. It expanded it. Yeah, there's a lot more implications. You can even look at the darker side of Star Wars, film consumerism, cheap cash-ins, tie-ins, toys, fast food, all that stuff. But I don't look at that as necessarily a bad thing in terms of marketing. I'll tell you this, I had more fun playing with McDonald's toys and stuff than I did ever eating the food. So I enjoy that you can go to McDonald's, get a Power Ranger toy, and then go outside and play. And people were talking about other memories. I'll never forget, my mom would take me to get the toys from McDonald's, but she knew and I knew that they were crappy, so she'd always buy me the better ones. So my cousins got the entire set of Power Ranger, like the Morpher and all this stuff from McDonald's. And so then my mom, I had that too. She bought me the real Morpher and the real communicator that made sound and all that shit. So that was another side story. Excuse me. We're getting closer to Christmas, getting very nostalgic. Tanae, thank you very much. I don't want to have my mouth anywhere near Tico's Taco. Yeah, I don't want to be forced to eat Tico's Taco either. It's nacho cheese. But Tanae, I get where you're coming from. I'm really curious to see where Rose Tico, my sweet little Sunray, Rose Tico, where she comes from, or where she goes in episode 9. I'm hoping that they don't try to elevate her to stick it to the fans, because you're going to get all these adversarial articles. Look, fans, Rose Tico's back and better than ever. It's like, good for Rose Tico. Wait till you see what the damage is to Star Wars. Even I have a friend named Josh who listens to this show, who runs his own show, R-rated horror podcast. Even that guy called Rose Tico fucking lame, and he likes Star Wars enough to subscribe to this channel. But he's not quite a normie, but he's not quite a hardcore fan. If you look at her, she doesn't represent anything good. She represents a bad character that people want to hide behind due to X, Y, and Z reasons. And I, too, today don't want anywhere near the Tico's Taco. Just, Loann Tran, you go live your life. You be happy. Don't let me keep you from having fun. But just don't make me watch Rose Tico. She's not cool. Love of Knowledge, thank you very much. Favorite ECW wrestler? I'm a huge Sandman mark. Well, Love of Knowledge, when you want to talk about ECW, only 3 letters need to be said. RVD. Rob Van Dam is my top 5 favorite of all time. One of the baddest ass dudes to ever step in the ring. He could take a beating, he could dish it out. I'm a huge Rob Van Dam fan. For as much as you like the Sandman, I like Rob Van Dam. Let's see, Infinity War. Tim Riggs, thank you very much for your super chat. Infinity War 12. We have the first paraplegic lesbian American transsexual furry. We're so progressive. Give us money. I really do read into the last sentence he said, give us money. They want money. They think that's going to look cool. And do they really think, though, that the mom with like 5 kids that want to go see Iron Man and Captain America fight aliens give a shit? Oh, there's more women in this movie. Okay. Then the mom that's going to take 5 kids just says, okay. But then the kids go and watch and go, did you see Iron Man do this? You see Captain America do that or this or that? It's nice that these people online want to praise these movies, but they're not helping the box office. You could make a big movie that has nothing progressive in it, and it would still make a bunch of money. It's just about branding. But being overly progressive and aggressive, how can I make a portmanteau of aggressive and progressive? I don't need to. My point is, you can hurt the movie if you go that route. So, you know what's funny, Tim Riggs? You remind me of my buddy Joel, who used to be here in Cincinnati. And he would say shit like that, and I'd think, Joel, you're full of shit, you're old. But then you get a little older, and you realize this is what they've been doing to entertainment for a while, and eventually you put on the sunglasses, and your eyes are opened up to a whole new world of bullshit experiences. And thankfully, The Force Awakens did that for me. It took Star Wars, my deep down favorite thing, to get ruined for me to wake up and go, what the hell's happening? And now I see it all over. A lot of people would like to argue, do you look for it? Do you look too deep into it? I don't look too deep into it. The thing is, it's so overt. It's everywhere. You can't not see it. You have to not look. You have to be willfully ignorant to not see half of the shit in this. Black Panther had it. Infinity War, I don't think really had it. Maybe if you want to get really deep and look at the Thanos message and try to make it about immigration and stuff, there you go. But the movie itself didn't become like that. Terminator 2 was the first movie to use CGI, says Pete 72. Last Starfighter had CGI. And that beat that by almost 10 years. Yes, it's Morphin Time. It's Morphin Time. Tanae, thank you very, very much for your generous super chat. It's funny that I only know anything about Episode 8 and Rose Tico and all the wacky characters from this channel, LOL. Might go see Episode 9 or wait for you to talk about it. I can't call for the boycott publicly, but dude, I wait for us. Because we talk shit about Episode 8, but it's very groan-inducing. It's not so bad it's good. Like The Room, Birdemic, shit like that, they're so cheesy and bad that you laugh and you go, oh my god. Star Wars is offensively bad, much like Tales from the Hood. I suggest people avoid that. If you haven't seen Episode 8, why go see Episode 9? Wait for us to talk about it, and then make up your own mind based on that opinion. But if you have to, if somebody says, Tanae, you see it, or we, blow up Canada or some shit like that, then you go take care of it. You do what you got to do to protect your homeland. But I say just wait. We're going to have live reviews. Shit, I might even review it during the credits just to get out. You just wait if you have to. If you can. If you have to see it early, do whatever you got to do. I always advocate do what you want here. I'm not your boss. I just I talk and I give you guys all the news that I can find about certain things. Albedo, thank you very much. You saw the video Clone Wars as a kid show. I got your email. I want to give you a shout out. I'll give you a shout out. But I don't want to forget. I will talk about that in a moment. But while I am here and I remembered it, I'd like to give a very special shout out to our friend Cesario Japan. I asked for a favor. Cesario Japan not only did what we needed, they've gone out of their way to help us quickly. So Cesario Japan, you're here all the time. I'd like to thank you again. You know what for. I'll tell everybody when I make a special video about it. But Cesario Japan, thank you very much. Now, Albedo, I did see that Clone Wars video, and I'm going to talk about that in a moment. I have it actually written down in my notes and your name, so don't worry. I appreciate you going out of your way to send that, and I did watch it this morning. Awesome video. But I'm going to talk about that in a few moments. So if you wouldn't mind, just wait in a moment. I'm going to get to these super chats, and then we're going to keep going on. We're going to talk about that. So our friend Tim Riggs says, podcast topic, Jeff, who are the best porn stars to replace women actors in Marvel or DC? I'll take a screenshot of that and we'll talk about it with the other guys. That's fine. Taking a screenshot right now, Tim. You know what we'll do? You're a patron. Here's a little bit of insider information. On Sunday night, World Class Bullshitters is going to record their super secret episode 150 Patreon edition. So we'll talk about some topics we can't bring up on YouTube, and it'll be a lot of fun. I'll make sure that that's a topic we discuss. It's going to be a very heavy episode of the show because we're bringing back almost everyone that's ever been on. The Dr. Phil Seitz cannot because it's his birthday that weekend. So early happy birthday to you, Phil. But, oh yeah, Dion's birthday's this weekend, too. Dion and Phil, their birthdays are 1 day apart. And I can never remember if it's the 9th or the 10th or the 10th and the 11th. I'm a bad friend. Yeah, whatever. Don't worry. But, yeah, we'll talk about that on episode 150, the darker episode. We're going to have a lot of fun with that. Swinging Cod, thank you very much. Again, see it or not, blow up Canada either way. Hashtag USA. I just randomly picked Canada because today's super chat was in Canadian dollars. But I like where I live. Ohio's okay, I guess. I don't like my neighborhood, but the state's okay. We have an Apple store. That means we've made it here in Cincinnati. Ron Jeremy is Reed Richards. Yeah. Or Galactus. Or MODOK. All of them. All of them. All of them. All of them. Yep, people are excited for episode 150. Thank you guys for letting us get to episode 150. It's funny. The show grows, the channel grows, the brand grows in different ways. As you would think, the subscriber count has been fine. It keeps going up. As you think it's not going up as much as I want, well, then something else goes up. Good Morning Pop Culture gets a bigger audience. This happens, that happens. It's funny. No matter what we do, the trajectory continues, and it's not us, it's all of you. So again, thank you very much. Brandon Moist, this guy's back. The Walking Dead subverted my expectations this week, says Brandon Moist. Thank you very much, Brandon Moist. I heard about the Rick thing. I did listen to a spoiler talk. I'm not going to cover it here because I don't want to... For the one person of the 371 people listening, I don't want you to think I hate you personally, and I didn't want to spoil the show you might enjoy. See, folks, I'm a kind of guy that if you like The Last Jedi but you enjoy this channel, you're welcome here. If you like The Walking Dead but you like this channel, you're welcome here. If you like this show for any reason and you subscribe and you're hanging out with us, I'm glad that you're here. It's not, we don't have to agree on everything, but I don't at the same time want to ruin it for the one person out there. But I know what you're talking about, Brandon Moist. Remember, Brandon Moist, you have a direct way to contact us. So you can always shoot us messages if you just want to shoot the shit and talk. Sometimes it takes a little bit for me to respond to the emails, but I've been getting better with those again. And, we can talk about Walking Dead. And I'll have you back on the channel soon. I feel like we were talking about some good stuff. People were drinking. It kind of fell apart. But don't worry, man. You are the only fan to have an episode named after you, so you are always welcome here on the channel. So, folks, what I'm trying to say in a very nice way is become more memorable than Brandon Moist. Brandon Moist is the best. You could try to be better, because you know what? Everybody elevates themselves when they try to top Brandon Moist. So Etep Wakulian loves The Walking Dead, or still likes The Walking Dead. And you know what? That's great. Like I said, we can have a different opinion. It's not about, I thing is, I don't expect everyone that subscribes to this channel to agree with me on everything, or, maybe 1 or 2 points, but that's fine. The only thing I will ever get mad is if you say Back to the Future is the worst movie ever made, because it's not. There's always The Last Jedi and Tales from the Hood. You could say it's the 3rd worst, and I'll say that's your opinion, and I think you're wrong, but it's never the worst. The High Council will be on Jeremy's channel tonight. The High Council is every Tuesday night. Wednesday night is not the High Council. But I want to tell you here, folks, again, while there's a ton of people, Doomcock will be on World Class Bullshitters episode 148 this Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So for those wondering why we're going to be 30 minutes late, it's intentional. We're letting you know we're going to build the suspense, the drama, and we have to wait for Doomcock to get back from the center of the earth. But he will be here, and this is the first time we're ever having Doomcock on World Class Bullshitters. So he's going to be one of us for the evening. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have tons of topics to rip apart. Geek culture, entertainment. We can see what happens today or tonight. So we have tons and tons of stuff to talk about. So mark your calendars, get prepared, get into your OK Google calendars and all that stuff, and make sure that you are here live, because you can talk to Doomcock. You can talk to me. Yeah, I know you're tired of me talking to me. Only hundreds of people show up all the time. Yeah, clearly. But we have Doomcock. We'll have guests. I'm still waiting to hear back from Razor Fist. I haven't heard back from him, but I will shoot him another message, and we'll try to get our Daredevil live stream worked out in the near future. And over the weekend, like I said, we have our Veterans stream. Sunday, we're going to do some re-recording. And maybe even late Saturday night, I might do some gaming again. It just depends if you guys want it. So, let's talk about Star Wars for a moment. I know you're thinking, Jesus Christ, how can we talk about Star Wars every day? Well, you can talk about Star Wars every day because they keep bringing it up. So before I get into the new rumor, big story, I want to talk about our friend Albedo, because he sent me a link. I'm assuming it's a guy. I know, look, we have 4% of women that listen. There's like Amy Minty and Barbarella Alpha and a couple other ones that listen. I'm thankful. But I just go based off of what our analytics say. It says we're like 96% dudes that listen to the show. So I apologize, Albedo, for assuming your gender, but let's call you our friend. They sent us this link to a video titled The Clone Wars is a Kid's Show. And after watching all the killing, the decapitations, the suicide, and the applied sexual assault on Ahsoka Tano, not only do I feel that The Clone Wars is a kid's show, but the best of its generation. Now, I don't ever advocate for psychologically torturing anyone, but there is an acceptable level of gore, and it's not Al or Tipper, but classy gore. So The Clone Wars had that. And yesterday I talked about the Disneyfication of the Thing. You can go back and listen to the Thing, excuse me. He hasn't been Disneyfied yet, thankfully, but he already wears shorts, so you don't have to worry. But I covered Disneyfication of Star Wars and why Disneyfication is bad. Your friend Deadpool is about to be Disneyfied. Yay, just what we always wanted. But The Clone Wars does have violent moments. Life has violent moments. And I think the show deals with it very classy. Yeah, people get their heads cut off, but that's part of Star Wars. Star Wars hasn't necessarily been this clean, saccharine thing. Pretty dark at times. Han Solo is not a good guy. He kills Greedo in self-defense. Vader chokes people, kills Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan slices Ponda Baba's arm off. We don't know what he did to Dr. Evazan. But The Clone Wars as a kid's show is a great video. It's funny. It's got like 640,000 views. It definitely deserves it. And I'll tell you this, it makes me want to go back and watch those episodes because I don't remember those. So I think, if anything, Albedo, you've got me to go back and want to watch Star Wars stuff, which is really, really, really impressive. Because in this current climate, I just don't really care. But thank you very much. I made sure to make a note in my notes to tell you thank you for telling me about that video. Now we're going to start talking about some Star Wars stuff that either may piss you off or may anger you. And this episode 9 rumor news actually leads into an expanded universe discussion, just for, ever. Did I look into the Diablo Immortal dumpster fire? I haven't heard anything more than yesterday, if you want to fill me in. I know it was a reskin of a game, a mobile game, and then they said, well, everybody has a mobile phone, and they kind of shit on the fans. So I checked into that part, live on the air. But I haven't heard anything new. I figure I'll look into that. I actually got a video, unlike any other that's coming out tomorrow. I'm working on it right now. It's funny, too. A couple of our listeners have requested I talk about this topic not only have I planned on talking about it, I've been doing a little more research. So it's a world-class bullshitters exclusive. It's our speciality. It's not Sith Lord, but it's damn near close because it's pure evil. And we're going to be talking about that tomorrow, and I hope that you guys really get invested in the conversation on that one. It'll be interesting to see where your opinions lie. So, new Star Wars 9 rumors suggest Matt Smith is young Palpatine. Yeah, you're not tripping out, folks. This is as retarded as it sounds. A new Star Wars Episode 9 rumor claims Matt Smith is playing a young Sheev Palpatine in the movie. The Doctor Who alum is one of several newcomers to the galaxy far, far away, appearing in the upcoming film, joining the cast over the summer in what was described as only a key role. In typical Lucasfilm fashion, plot details to the sequel trilogy finale are being kept firmly under wraps, which means not much is known about all the fresh faces that will be popping up. Still, fans are nevertheless eager to learn what they can. Palpatine, of course, was the overarching bad in the first 6 episodes in the Skywalker saga. He assumed control of the Galactic Republic in the prequels and transformed it into the Empire. Though he was long dead by the time The Force Awakens continued, the narrative, its influence was still felt as the First Order obviously molded themselves into the Empire's image. And the latest to be believed, Palpatine may have more of a presence next December. First off, let me tell you guys the reason why the First Order molded themselves into the Empire's image. Nostalgia, money. Disney has no creativity left in their fucking heads. They want Rebels versus Empire, X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, person in black with a red lightsaber, person in white, blue lightsaber. And then it's going to be green in the finale, just like everything else. Thank you, Disney. During the Hot Scoop or Shot of Poop segment during this last episode of the Weekly Planet podcast, it was stated that Matt Smith may be portraying a young Palpatine in Episode 9. Worth mentioning, this information came from an anonymous source and is, at this point, strictly a rumor. First off, the Weekly Planet podcast. I used to listen to them because they have one of the greatest theme songs of all time. It goes, red hot movie news shooting up your butthole, the Weekly Planet, the Weekly Planet. That's the words. So, there you go. I'm paraphrasing. I think I missed the word comic book movie news. But I looked at this Palpatine thing and I thought, no, this is so dumb. And I know a lot of you people are thinking, oh, it is dumb. Why? Facepalm with me, folks. This is ridiculousness. And not that show on MTV. And you're thinking, Palpatine died. Palpatine's no longer around. I'll talk about that in a moment. Let me finish out this great information, this rumor, Hey, you know what? The way it sounds from the Weekly Planet, they have an anonymous source that told them this is happening, but it's only a rumor. Well, I have an anonymous source right here live on the show. My anonymous source has told me that Star Wars Episode 9 will be filmed completely in smell-o-vision, so you know the bullshit they're shoveling this time. While fans should keep their grains of salt handy in this instance, it's very intriguing possibility to discuss. The biggest matter is figuring out how exactly Palpatine would return. It's possible Episode 9 will incorporate flashbacks, or J.J. Abrams pulls the page from Legends and makes Palpatine clones canon. The Weekly Planet also mentioned Star Wars Rebels introduced the concept of time travel to the franchise, so perhaps that makes its way into this film. As illustrated by Solo's infamous mall cameo, Lucasfilm isn't afraid to directly connect the TV shows and the movies. This would be a fascinating way to tie multiple corners of the canon together. That being said, Dave Filoni has stated he hopes the devices don't become a permanent fixture in the Star Wars universe. This would be a radical departure from the norm and is for a course correction movie, meaning Abrams might have something else in mind. Wow, it's not until the last sentence does the truth fucking come out. So yesterday we did talk about how Episode 9 is meant to be a course correction film. You don't want to do something stupid. Not only would clones be stupid, time travel would be stupid. So you're going to turn Star Wars into Terminator. They're both shitty right now. We have the LGBT 1000 coming down the pipe next summer, and we have Star Wars Episode 9 already in the toilet. But this news, this rumor, all this other bullshit, why? If you're going to have Palpatine in the movie, why wouldn't you just use Ian McDiarmid and do the young makeup? I mean, you can CGI, what's-his-face, Tarkin or young Leia. Ian McDiarmid can still act. You could make him up and do the de-aging, and you can get the same performance. Why would you make it Matt Smith? They don't even have the same sized forehead. Matt Smith has a big forehead. Big fucking noggin. Ian McDiarmid, he's bald. He looks bigger than it really is. But I brought this up because of the clone implication. And if you don't know about Palpatine's clones, well, I suggest you guys check out a very good EU story. Maybe not the best. It's not the Zahn trilogy or the Thrawn trilogy, whatever you call it, but it's called Dark Empire. And I like Dark Empire because it deals with Luke Skywalker becoming evil, clones of Palpatine. It's got Han and Leia and Lando and all these other great characters involved. And this is where I liked when Star Wars lived. Movies were over. It lived on like this. The movies still made money. George Lucas was a billionaire. People were buying the toys. It was a lot safer. Our friend Albedo, thank you very much. Grievous, I am neither pleased nor surprised. And that is the worst impersonation of General Grievous. I sound like a really shitty British naval officer. If Captain Nita had more range, that's what he would sound like. I'm sorry. I can do voices. It's just it's a little early. We also had a very generous super chat come in from our friend Tanae. My biggest salt factor with Disney/Lucasfilm is how they can nitpick from Legends as they please and alter it however they want. I treasure so many stories from Legends, and it pisses me off how they fuck with it. It's funny that you bring up that, too, because the other day somebody posted on our Facebook page one of the Zahn novels, and it says on the back, the official continuation of the Star Wars saga. So for those out there, those bad fans who want to say, it was always fan fiction, it was never meant to be real, it was. It was official canon. Yes, it gets murky when you try to write 100 Star Wars books, but it was canon. And today, I don't like how they nitpick from these things either. I look at it like this. I may not be the biggest EU supporter. I may only have a handful of books and comic books. But I liked the way it was. And if I needed more of a story, I could just go read those books. And I personally have always said the reason they shit-canned the EU was so they could take the easy way out and just take elements and make their own story, their own Frankenstein stories of Star Wars from the EU, from other things, video game sources, and just put it into their new movie and create Star Wars in their own image. Yet, the Frankenstein monster they've created isn't the Boris Karloff one that has some beauty to it. It's the Robert De Niro one from the 90s, and it just is ugly and forgettable. Daisy Ridley is not Luke Skywalker. She has no charisma. She has no... you get excited when Luke Skywalker... And don't worry, I'm going to be talking about Rian Johnson's round head after we talk about this stuff. Believe me, stacked show, folks. Luke Skywalker was an inspirational character. You get excited. You want people to feel something good when you think about Luke Skywalker, and you want him to struggle. You don't want Luke Skywalker to have given up. But they've gone out of their way to do that. And with these stories, they've taken and just created lifeless husks of people. I don't think Captain Poe Dameron's exciting. He could have been awesome. Had he told Holdo to shut the fuck up and do what he wanted, and then, he was proven right, you would have given some validation to the audience. Because the audience doesn't know Holdo. Why are we supposed to trust and believe in her? Because Leia had a possible relationship with her back in the early days of Kylo Ben? That kind of stuff is dumb. No, female-female relationships are dumb. But introducing a character and then letting them talk down to a character we know and expecting us to respect them because a character we like respects them, that doesn't work. This isn't like, the Babysitter's Club. We're not going to hang out with these people and go, oh, well, Carrie vouches for this chick. She's cool. No. Holdo sucked. They've never created an interesting character out of Disney's canon. Name one. Seriously. You can't... you know what? If you don't do sequel trilogy, let me rephrase that. Name a great character out of the sequel trilogy, because if you do Rogue One or Solo, you created K2SO. K2SO was cool, but it's Alan Tudyk. Alan Tudyk is not able to be unlikable. It's like in the 40-Year-Old Virgin when they say, you made Steve Carell look like an asshole. You can't make Alan Tudyk be a dick in a movie. He's just so likable. And when he dies, you feel something. Cassian Andor, let him go. Jyn Erso, let her go. Chirrut and Baze, they were awesome. But that's it. 3 characters. 2 dudes and a robot. Everything else has been shit. That's not a good... What is that a percentage of? Like 4% good? Thank you, Disney. But today, I do get angered. I know I joke about Dion getting offended for people, but because I understand where you're coming from. There's a different Star Wars story that's everyone's favorite. Maybe you like the movies, but your favorite is a book. Maybe it's the first X-Wing novel from the Rogue Squadron series or whatever. Maybe your favorite story is Dark Empire. Maybe your favorite story is Death Troopers or something like that. So it sucks, because my favorite story is A New Hope, the first movie. It's just perfect everything for me. I don't need anything else, honestly. But I get it. I guess I have empathy for you. And people think, it's just a story, it's just comics, it's just this, it's just that. But here's the thing. Popular culture is the modern myth. It's the story of us. It's what resonates with us. It's how we feel. It's what talks to us. Sometimes you look into a story and there's so much of you written down on a page by someone you'll never meet. It hits you in the feels. It works. It just works for you in a certain way. And then to have it just discredited and thrown out of the window because of some lazy douchebags at Lucasfilm, I can understand why you would get pissed off. And I don't like these rumors. I think the Fandom Menace has definitely changed the way Star Wars is reported on. This channel and the other two have definitely taken the narrative from, hey, this is a possible news and rumor, let's get excited, to, wow, this company is fucking up. Yeah, there were others before. You know, I've been there since, December of 2015, and there were others back then, but not many people were voicing their displeasure. Now it's a thing. And these places are trying to be the opposite. It's like, oh, we're still talking about the news and the rumors and the fun stuff of Star Wars. Don't avoid the toxicity. There's really not any toxicity here. We're just people who are tired of being pissed on. And the stuff like this, it's nice for the Weekly Planet podcast. I've listened to them. They're two British dudes, I believe, and I don't have anything bad to say about them personally. I just don't think that this type of stuff is conducive, because the article goes on to say J.J. Abrams may have something different planned because this is a course correction film. All these things just show me one thing, that Disney has no fucking idea what's going on with their brand. You know, this is your premier brand, but your management is garbage, your stories are garbage, all your products are garbage. Name me one thing that's 100% good and pure from the Disney era of Star Wars. Yes, nothing. So Tanae, I get it, man. I get it 100%. That's all I can say to you is, I get it, I feel where you're coming from. And thank you. Mr. V, thank you very much. Course correction, full throttle, into the next wall! Whew. Well, Kathleen Kennedy is driving, and you know what they say about old people drivers? Though dangerous, they do serve a purpose. Yes, Kathleen Kennedy, folks, does serve a purpose. You heard it here first on Good Morning Pop Culture. What is her purpose? To provide a cautionary tale for what not to do when you want to make money in the geek universe. Seamus McCallahan, thank you very much. I was at an R.A. Salvatore signing where he said George Lucas called him to say why Chewie needed to die and show anyone could die. The books were official. Oh, dude, Seamus, you're preaching to the choir on this one. I know they were official. When that moon crushed Chewbacca, and was it Anakin Solo or whatever, didn't save him, but he could have type of thing. I knew they were official. Here's the thing about, we were talking about firsts earlier on in the show. People that write these articles aren't really fans of this shit. I am a fan of this shit. You guys are fans of this shit. These people that write these articles will tell you they're fans, but like I've told you before in the past, it's really easy to spot a fake geek fan. If you go back and you look at any of these people who do YouTube videos and you look at their sets and you see the big Jack-specific hollow plastic figures or a Funko Pop or this and that, those are the people who buy that stuff as set decoration. Those are the people who aren't really there, haven't been there for a long time. I'm not saying you got to have a Hot Toys collectible to show off or something like that, but have something old to prove to me. Even if you bought it on eBay, at least go out of your way to look like you're a long-term fan. I mean, if somebody said, Jeff, pull out some Star Wars shit to show you've been a long-time fan, I go, okay, what do you want to see? Vintage figures, 90s figures, early 2000s, not really anything newer because I don't support it. But the point I'm trying to make is, the people that write these articles want to brush the EU under the rug because they weren't fans when the EU was the official canon. They want to act like, well, because Disney says it's not and Disney pays the bills, we have to kiss their ass. See, it's another way to try to alter history. This altering history bullshit. You think you can control the future by altering the past. Star Wars is so big. All these things are so big that you can't really get rid of the past. You can't alter where we came from. It was accepted. It was fact. It was the truth. just deal with it. Disney's the one that made those changes. But not everyone has to buy into that. You can go by the EU that was before and move on and move forward. And so, Seamus, these were the official things. The books said it on the back. There used to be a fucking timeline in these books that would say the movie's here, then this story, then this story, then this story, then Empire Strikes Back, then this story, then this story, then this story. It was confusing at times, but it made sense to the fans. So these writers want to act like, it's never been a thing. It's always been a thing. You're the misinformed one. Don't start using phrases like toxicity and all this other shit because you're stupid. We're not. Sorry for your mistake. Alpha Terranima, thank you very much. TR8R from The Force Awakens is the only good sequel character. Okay, Google. TR8R, Star Wars. I don't even know who that is. Oh, that stormtrooper that had the staff? Okay. I really do think, looking back, because a GIF popped up of John Boyega, they really dropped the ball. John Boyega should have been the Jedi, not Rey. Maybe then I would feel differently, but no. By the way, I heard he's trying to talk shit to people and jokingly call it a boycott. I hope it works. I'd love to see egg on that dude's face. It'd be so funny. That's all I can say. It'd be so funny. So, for a moment, we've been talking passionately about Star Wars and the EU, and I keep showing you this Dark Empire image. What is Dark Empire, Jeff? I need to know. I'm on edge. Well, just real quick, Dark Empire is one of my favorite EU stories because it deals with characters I like. So it was a series of comic books written by Tom Veidt and illustrated by Cam Kennedy. They were originally released by Dark Horse Comics between December 1991 and October of 1992 as a 6-issue bi-monthly series, which were later compiled and sold as a trade paperback. The name generally applies to both the original Dark Empire as well as the two sequels, Dark Empire 2 and Empire's End. All three comic book series detailed the resurrection of Emperor Palpatine in clone bodies. So we had clones and stuff way back in 1991. So again, this isn't canon anymore because Disney says it so. So that's what they did with their Infinity Gauntlet. They snapped the Star Wars EU out of existence. But the story, I like it. Some people don't, some people do. I'm not saying it's the greatest story ever told, but it takes place 10 years after the Battle of Yavin. So let's see. 10, so 0 is Battle of Yavin, 3 is Empire, and 4 is Jedi, I believe. So this is 6 years after Return of the Jedi, just to give you guys a better timetable, an idea where we're going from. And now, Episode 9 is what, 36 or 40 years? 36 years after Return of the Jedi, something like that. So, in Star Wars land, it just takes 30 extra years to create a new story. But here's the summary of the story. 6 years after the... I just did the math for no fucking reason, excuse me. I just sat there with my fingers and tried... I was like, never mind. Sorry, live radio, folks. 6 years after the Battle of Endor, the fight for freedom rages on. Darth Vader is dead, but a reborn empire under a mysterious new leader strikes back at the struggling Rebel Alliance. Massive world devastators, more powerful and unstoppable than the Death Star, ravage entire planets, while the ruthless heirs to Jabba the Hutt's palace... While the ruthless heirs to Jabba the Hutt place a monumental price on the heads of Princess Leia and her husband Han Solo, along with Lando, R2-D2, C-3PO, and other old allies, Han and Leia struggle to protect the future for their unborn child, but their greatest foe may be their closest friend, Luke Skywalker. Minus the stupid stumble, that kind of thing is a really cool sounding story. I mean, I know the story. I suggest you guys check it out. You can go out to your old bookstore, pick up a copy, listen to the audio novelization online, do what you want to do. But stories like that, they just get you excited. What happened? When did I last see Han Solo? Oh, Return of the Jedi. That was like, what, 8 years ago? Yeah, but he's back. More stories. Cool, I'll check out what Han Solo's up to. Disney, thank you for ruining all of this stuff. Let's see, our friend Tanae sent in a super chat. Thank you very much, Tanae. More proof that the EU was canon. The author of Plagueis, my all-time favorite piece of Star Wars, collaborated with Lucas himself on it. So, Tanae, again, man, you're preaching to the choir and all this. I'm with you. It was canon. I will say it so more people hear it because we do have a loud voice here on the channel. But all of these people that want to try to tear apart the canon to build up this new canon just aren't helping. They aren't helping one bit whatsoever. I firmly believe that it was an attempt to do the least amount of work possible with this new Lucasfilm story group because they're not that good. They really aren't. It's not about their politics. It's the fact that they lack a good story. If you told me the greatest Star Wars story ever told and it was a little, one way or the other, even if I disagreed or agreed, I would like the story. But you're just producing bad content and you're hiding behind the politics. That is the most, I don't want to say millennial because I'm a millennial and it doesn't work and I don't really like the thing, but that is the most modern political excuse ever. I fail, but politics, intention, reasons, then I'm good. No, you don't get to hide behind that stuff. Star Wars can't. I can buy homage and this and that, but you have to have a strong narrative at the base, and they haven't. And I'm tired of being called a racist. God damn it, Rugis. A colored Jedi, that'll be the day. You just see. That's right, I'm gonna be mad. I'll be a Jedi. Good, you can start by using the Force to clean up the floor. Damaj and I, thank you very much. Long live the OTEU and the prequels. I said it. Well, Damaj and I hope you listened to yesterday's show because I said people should check out your video. I subscribe to your channel. But yeah, folks, the OT, the EU, and the prequels. I firmly believe that this Disney era has made the Star Wars fan base stronger because it is combined, or it has made me respect the EU a lot more, even though I wasn't against it. And it made me long for the prequels a little bit, the Clone Wars era, stuff like that. And all of us who mourn Star Wars have come together as a support group to have fun and discuss the good old days. Now, I know some people like to think, well, Star Wars is dead. It's not dead. It needs to be taught a lesson. And I think it's learning that lesson. You can have all the shills come out in droves to defend all the garbage, but at the end of the day, the people who spend their money, their hard-earned money on Star Wars, have spoken. If Star Wars was truly great, if it had these great memorable characters, these great designs, these great ships, I wouldn't see Rey's speeder sold for pennies on the dollar at Walmart. I wouldn't see Rose Tico sold for $1 5 weeks after the theater release of the film. I wouldn't see every excuse made in the book. I wouldn't see a major Hollywood studio. It was Russian bots. Russian bots attacked Rotten Tomatoes. That's why the score's so low. Rotten Tomatoes? Nope, those are official scores. Oh shit, what do we do? Oh, they were racists that attacked Kelly Marie Tran off social media. Those were actually Russian bots. Oh shit, what do we do? Ignore it. Call them Russian bots back. Fuck! That is the game plan of the biggest studio in the entertainment world, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, you act more professional on a daily basis than Disney, the biggest entertainment studio of all time, does all the time. So remember that when you're voting with your wallet. Don't worry about today. You do what you got to do today. That is all on you. No channel discussion whatsoever. But remember, you vote with your wallet in March for Captain Marvel, next December for Star Wars. I tell you, just wait till we review it. We're going to review it the day of. Early. Going to get our tickets. Going to see that 7 p.m. screening. By 9:15, we're reviewing it. If you got to see it official opening day, well, you know what? You can if you listen to what we have to say about that. You're welcome, Damaj and I. You're welcome. Folks, check out Damaj and I's channel. He's a big supporter of this channel, all the Fandom Menace. And like I said yesterday on the show, I would like to have a live hangout for those who have been inspired by this channel to make their own content. And, it's a chance to promote your stuff, to have a discussion with different people. And we could have Doomcock on there as well. But I would like for you to, talk more, reach more people, talk, have fun, get the word out there. A lot of people are really struggling on YouTube. And one thing I will say about YouTube has like shut down the ability to be found more organically, because I'm putting out the content, I'm doing what I got to do. But I've noticed even channels that I love are getting less views than normal. It's a weird thing right now. So all I can tell you guys is keep pushing forward. We'll keep pushing forward. We're not going anywhere. We don't want you to go anywhere. And there will be a time where YouTube ramps up people wanting to watch their content. And as long as you've been in the algorithm the whole time, well, boom, you're going to get straight to the top. Believe me, we've been trending before. It was a good feeling. I was at a Cracker Barrel on a Sunday, and my Toys R Us store video was trending #2 in the UK. I'm like, well, there goes another 1,000 views. There goes another 1,000 views. There goes another 100 subscribers. It was the greatest feeling in the world. And it'll come back as long as I keep working for it. Tanae, thank you very much. Russians, LMAO. Look at any action blockbuster. The enemy is always the Russians. Who actually believes this shite? Yeah, it is. There's always, Jeff is going to get there. You know what? There's all these different Jeremys. There's conspiracy theory Jeff. Well, this isn't even really conspiracy theory, but there's always an enemy that the public has to face. It was the Russians back in the 80s. Before that, it was the Germans and the Japanese, and then it was Middle Eastern people of nondescript Middle Eastern people that was causing all kinds of terror and fear. Our friend Nick suffered a lot of that from, stupid people. And now it's back to the Russians. There's always this faceless enemy. There's always an enemy that they're trying to say, this is the enemy. They are bad. So you can blame all of life's little problems conveniently on them. As society becomes more self-aware, we are also more aware of how shitty human beings can be and how they don't want to be held accountable. I have more respect for somebody who says, I made a mistake, it is my fault, and I will work hard to rectify that situation, more so than somebody, with a bad haircut, shitty clothes, a round head, and a fucking Santa Claus-style cheeks, and just goes, it was Russians, it was this, I'll be at the bar. Fuck you, man. You're the problem. Accountability. That's what we want. That's all we want. Nobody wants to harm Rian Johnson. I don't. You don't. Nobody that listens to the show does. We want him to be held accountable and stop making excuses on Twitter. Ryan, go make Knives Out and never make anything else again. Let Daniel Craig and all these other actors kiss your ass. I won't. You won't. It's the end for these people. They know it. You get to the big time and you fuck it up monumentally. Tommy Wiseau made a movie. It was terrible, and people found joy from its bad movie making, bad filmmaking. What joy do you find in The Last Jedi? You can't even look at it and laugh at it from a weird nihilistic Schadenfreude laughing style. It's just really, really bad. It's just really, really bad. Thank you, Benobi. So me bringing up Rian Johnson, let me talk about Rian Johnson properly. So I mentioned Twitter earlier. We talked about how great The Rock was. Well, if there's an antithesis of The Rock, it's not Brie Larson, it's Rian Johnson. Because rocks tend to be round in shape, just like Rian Johnson's head is perfectly round. Ethan needs to get his circle template out to draw Rian Johnson, but this is what I saw this morning. We were tagged in this tweet, and it says, hot take, Luke is in fact 100% consistent with his character, not the way he's described in marketing blurbs, but his actual, based on his words and actions character from the OT. I'll be at the bar if you need me. And that was yesterday. So Ryan's probably trying to drink himself into a stupor because he is irrelevant and the fans dislike him. But let me take a couple of moments. So first off, not the way he's described in marketing blurbs. He's really not described in marketing blurbs that matter because people aren't buying the marketing. People don't buy the products, don't buy the merchandise. It's fine, Ryan. That's okay. You killed it. Your message, your anti-consumerism Star Wars has definitely worked in the real world because we're very anti-consumer Star Wars right now. We don't want to consume it. We just want to let it rot. The sad part is it's made of high-quality plastics that don't really rot easily. So, seriously, folks, Rose Tico will live in the E.T. landfill in perpetuity. Good for her. But, Ryan, I've watched Star Wars more than you. You, upon trying to promote this film, Luke Skywalker only mourned Obi-Wan for 1 minute. That's not true at all. Even something so little as that, something so banal, you couldn't even get that right. So, Ryan, the fact that you're trying to tell us his actual, based on his words and actions characters. So you mean where Luke Skywalker says shit like, I don't know, what's Luke Skywalker thing in my head? Oh God, there's so many swimming around my head. I care? That's the most basic one. First off, Luke Skywalker cares. He doesn't give up. I got a promise to keep to an old friend as he flies back to the Dagobah system and all this stuff at the middle of Return of the Jedi. There is good in you, Father. I sense the conflict. There is no conflict. What in the fuck is Rian Johnson talking about? Did you not see Return of the Jedi? Has the only Star Wars movie you've seen been The End of Empire when he gets his hand cut off and jumps off a thing? Oh, well, Luke's willing to kill himself or whatever? Well, he'll kill himself in my movie. God damn it, he'll die. I'm shaking my head right now because Rian Johnson is such an idiot. You can wait at the bar. You have the round head of somebody with infantile alcohol syndrome or whatever Ethan talks about. But you're wrong. Rian Johnson, again, at the end of the day, you're freaking wrong. Yeah, I censored myself. You're fucking wrong. This man cannot let it go. It's so funny. all you're doing is helping the fandom menace get stronger every time you open your mouth and say something stupid like this. I think Ryan went to the bar first before he tweeted this. Because Luke Skywalker was the eternal optimist. He turned himself in. In Return of the Jedi, he turns himself in. You know, like that guy in The Empire says, though he denies it, I believe there are more of them. He had only this. I see you've constructed a new lightsaber. So, blah, blah, blah. He calls him father. So, you've accepted the truth. I've accepted the truth that you were once Anakin Skywalker, my father. Blah, blah, blah. The dude, after he beats Darth Vader in the battle, throws his lightsaber down and asks for help from his dad. He has faith in his dad eternally as he's dying, and then Vader does the right thing at the last moment. I just don't know how. I don't know how this fucking guy constantly gets it wrong. Like I said, Luke Skywalker, semicolon, eternal optimist. Chad Vader, day shift manager. Luke is not Luke. Then you got people in the comments saying, well, I got old and I changed. You know what? Just because you're a jaded piece of shit doesn't mean Luke Skywalker did. One, I saw the evil in my nephew. Yeah, I saw the evil too. You know what he did with his evilness? He destroyed an elevator and a computer console. What did Vader do? He murdered younglings. He killed his wife. He killed tons and tons of Jedi. Oh my God. Kylo Ren's bitch fit is a drop in the bucket compared to Darth Vader's evil ways. He kills people on different spaceships with his mind. He kills his own men. He cut his son's hand off. He froze Han Solo in carbonite for kissing his daughter. Well, I could understand that one. He's a scoundrel, not a nice man. But again, much like that Weekly Planet podcast blurb about the possibility and their rumors and all this shit, I think this all stems from the fact that the people in charge of Star Wars fundamentally do not understand what it's about. They think of pew-pew, laser beams, lightsabers, hyperspace, special effects. Then they put politics into it because they think, well, Star Wars, the prequels were political. No, the story was about the politics of the Star Wars universe and how it fell and became the Empire. Maybe you didn't like it. I don't love Episode 1, but my God, is it better than what we got now. But still, this round-headed soy boy constantly gets his shit wrong. Constantly. And in fucking 11 months, almost a year, Ryan, almost a year later, you're still doubling down on your bullshit. You, Ryan Johnson, are everything that is wrong with Hollywood and entertainment and Star Wars. You're too dumb and too egotistical to admit when you're wrong. And you here are wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Like Edge says. And when your kids are born, they're going to be wrong too. Well, I hope no one procreates with Ryan Johnson. But Ryan Johnson, I hope you hear this voice clip. I hope your fucking ass is waking up. What is it, 6:29 in California right now? You wake up in your log cabin and you drink your French press soy-free coffee and all this other shit, and you put your almond milk in there and you swirl it around and you breathe in the smug air of your own farts, and you realize there's a guy out east who has a good following. A lot of good people listen to this show, and everyone knows that you're wrong, Ryan. So maybe your head is as big and round because you're so full of shit. That's what that is, guys. That's not just the size of his head. You know, he doesn't have a big head because he's smart. He's full of himself. And when he's always talking about blocking assholes, maybe he's blocking his own asshole with his giant round head. So, Ryan, take a big swig of that smug and shut the fuck up. There we go. I'll be at the bar if you need me. Alec Munoz, thank you very much. This sounds like the drunken idiot at the bar ranting and raving no one that cares. To no one that cares. Go drink and pass out for a while, Ryan Johnson. Take the night off. Yes, Ryan Johnson needs to take the night off. He needs to just go home. He's not relevant anymore. Well, Ryan Johnson's making Knives Out the greatest film ever made. Yeah, well, sorry, Razor Fist impersonation voice. Ryan Johnson has been relevant for 5 seconds. They say everyone gets their 15 minutes of fame. Well, not Ryan Johnson. He, like, lightspeed rammed the clock. It's broken. It's close enough to 15 minutes. Go home, you suck. So it seems like people do agree with me on this Ryan Johnson situation. Small brain for such a big head. Yeah, that is true. That is very true. Ryan Johnson just doesn't understand Luke Skywalker. I mean, seriously, folks, eternal optimist Luke Skywalker. For all that Ryan Johnson wants to say about us, the fans, the audience, we're all hateful, we're all this. Ryan, if you think this is the case with Luke Skywalker, instead of reading our marketing blurb and watching the movies like we do, why don't you continue to consult Dr. Morton Bay and his bullshit theories, his bullshit published paper? It's funny. It's like a court trial. They're guilty of murdering Star Wars. We have it on camera. But they're coming up with every defense. Who do we call to the stand this week? A PhD doctor from Australia. Okay, fine. Let's listen to what he has to say. It's not convincing. Oh, man, the defense was looking kind of nervous when the Rose Tico lady came up to the stand, but then we found out the truth. It's just a dog and pony show. They just keep bringing out shit, and it doesn't work. And you'd think I'd be tired of it, but it's an evergreen thing. They constantly put their foot in their mouth. They must love the taste of their bunions. Kathleen Kennedy must be like paying Ryan Johnson under the table still. And if Ryan Johnson is, I'm still making money from The Last Jedi. No shit, dude. There are millions of dumb people that bought into your crap, but there's more people that didn't buy into your crap. And you're the reason why Solo failed. So maybe they should take some of your back-end deal money and give it to Ron Howard. Maybe Ron Howard's not innocent in all this, but he's less guilty than you are. And I don't think they'll ever run out of excuses and fess up. They'll never do that. It's always something else with these people. Be it, oh, you don't understand Luke Skywalker. You know what? I don't care what other channels make. I want to hear one person's opinion on this. And this is Anna from That Star Wars Girl, because she loves Luke Skywalker. She gets so passionate about Luke Skywalker. That is her favorite movie character, I believe. But for some reason, Ryan Johnson just wants to ruin Luke. Now, Mark Hamill will come out of the woodwork to defend Ryan because he's in Episode 9 and he wants that paycheck. But one day, when this is all said and done, Mark Hamill will come out and everything will just, the truth will fall into place. And people will think, well, the truth came out and nobody cares. By then, it's only so much paper, to quote a really shitty Dead Kennedy song. But the truth has to come out, and we'll know. And thanks to this channel and the other guys in the Fandom Menace, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it forever. I, too, like Anna's rants. She is entertaining and a good artist. A good, very friendly person. So support That Star Wars Girl. Check her out. She's a good YouTube content creator. Ryan Johnson and Uwe Boll would make a great team. Yeah, well, I would rather watch an Uwe Boll film because they're so bad that sometimes they're good. Ryan Johnson's are just mean-spirited and shitty. So I'm glad everyone has been really excited about my hot take on Ryan Johnson and Luke Skywalker and all this stuff. Again, he just fundamentally does not understand any of it. He is the worst person to ever be called a Star Wars director. You may say George Lucas lost his marbles in the prequels and show me Jar Jar Binks and Whoopi Whoopi and this is pod racing and Wizard and all this other shit. But I will show you tweets like this, and I will show you that no matter how bad George Lucas may have dropped the ball at times, he did pick it up and he ended up scoring that final touchdown and took his team to an ultimate victory. It was perfect the way it ended. It just, oh my God. And the ultimate search for more money, like they say in Spaceballs, Spaceballs 3, the search for more money. Ryan Johnson and Disney searched for more money, and it just did not turn out. Like I've said before, they're creatively bankrupt. They are creatively bankrupt. They're morally bankrupt. They're stupid, vain people who just cannot accept failure and defeat. Any book you read, they talk about failure is good. It teaches you to learn from your mistakes and move forward and try to fail upwards. Hollywood does not allow that. The ego of Ryan Johnson does not match the body of Ryan Johnson. The only thing as big as his ego is his head, and that's fine. He deserves that. But the man will never learn. He will always double down and we will get more shit. It's like a little kid. I'll show them. I'll do more of it. And then they'll still like it because it says Star Wars on it. No. This is not going to happen. This is not going to happen for any of this shit. Ryan Johnson, my man, you are you're quickly killing Star Wars, quickly becoming irrelevant, and quickly turning off one of the most giving fan bases in all of history. And what do I mean by the most giving fan base in all of history? Because of goodwill that was established 41 years ago, people still go out of their way to give money to Star Wars, have gone out of their way. You can take 40 years of goodwill, destroy it, and shit. I'll even say in 11 months, they've destroyed it. And that is the legacy of all these people. That is the legacy of Disney. That is the legacy of modern filmmaking. You can take the goodwill of Marvel and you can ruin it with Brie Larson's stinky cheese ass. You can take the goodwill of Star Wars and ruin it with Rian Johnson's round-headed stupid ass. My point is, it's all garbage. It all stinks. And who suffers? Us, the paying customer, the paying consumer. So the reason I always promote independent art and stuff like that is because people out there are struggling. The struggle is real. Those people have to make the best thing to entertain you, to capture your imaginations. Once you make it to the top, a lot of times you become complacent, and complacency is never good. You always want to strive to be better. You always want to strive to be different. You always want to try to reinvent the wheel. Sometimes you have what works, and you don't want to ruin that. And I understand that. But Disney, Star Wars, and a lot of entertainment as a whole isn't working. The one thing that is working, we're watching it. It's like the train from Back to the Future 3. We see Clayton Ravine, Shonash Ravine, whatever you want to say. The train, it's the most beautiful, perfect train ever made. It's so efficient. It never even needed to stop. It can go 100 miles an hour. And it's just smiling, chugging along. We see the end. The train doesn't because it has no eyes. But it chugs, chug, and it hits the bottom. And it all blows up and everyone dies on board. And it's so depressing. Fire Chimp, thank you very much. Hey, bartender, give me a vodka with titty milk, Ryan. Do you think Rian Johnson drinks White Russians, but instead of heavy cream, he puts that alien titty milk for Luke Skywalker? I'd bet dollars to donuts that's what he drinks at the bar. He drinks it out of one of those weird champagne flute things with like a rose on the end. It's funny. Sometimes you hear about celebrities that are douchey in person, then you hear about them and you're like, they could be cool. Rian Johnson is the kind of guy, I guarantee you, is not cool for anybody unless you have the same beliefs, wear same shitty socks and crappy sweaters. What is Rian Johnson, what is Rian Johnson to you people? I'd like to know how you guys feel about Rian Johnson. You know my opinion. I've ranted. I've raved. This is the most calm rant I think I've ever had. Yeah, there were moments of me yelling like he's the most optimistic character ever in terms of Luke Skywalker. But right now I feel like Qui-Gon. You know, I'm not about to be stabbed, but remember how he takes that moment of calm reflection before he fights Darth Maul? I feel very calm right now. We're going into battle as a group with Episode 9 at the end of next year. But maybe I'm looking too forward. I think we need to focus on Star Wars Celebration. That is where we can really, really make our voices be heard in a positive way. Just because we dislike something doesn't mean you can't have a positive message wrapped in it. And I got something I'm trying to work on that's going to promote a lot of positivity for this community, this channel, and I'm going to ask for some help from everybody. But once I get it worked out, we're going to all be better off. Tanae, thank you very much again. I hope someone roofies him and tries to show him the error of his ways and send him off. Fuck! I'm afraid to go to Canada now. I'm afraid I'm not going to go. Maybe Trish Stratus is from there, and she is my my favorite wrestling lady, my biggest crush of all time. But damn it, I'm not going because of you today. I don't think you really have to roofie Rian Johnson, though. He just seems very willing to be cool, if you know what I mean. His definition of cool and the regular definition of cool aren't simpatico, if you will. And Jesus, man, people really do not like Rian Johnson. I heard somebody says they wouldn't piss on him if he's on fire. They have no respect for him. He's that guy you teabagged in Grand Theft Auto 5. Whew. I don't feel any shame for when his next movie flops. And my God, if every show writer wants to tell us that we're all going to line up to go see Star Wars, the Rian Johnson edition, no. He has Johnsoned his career beyond belief. You can delete 20,000 tweets and all this other shit, but your douchiness is on record and will be remembered forever, in perpetuity. Everyone here today will remember what an asshole he is. Everyone tonight on the High Council will remember what an asshole Rian Johnson is. It's really hard to go... Let me use a Red Dead Redemption analogy. My character is towards the red, meaning I'm a bad guy. I can say hi to everybody in town, but I can't really change their opinions of me kicking a pig or, murdering 55 police officers. Rian Johnson is that cowboy. He has done so many bad things. He's killed Luke Skywalker. He's ruined people's favorite childhood hero. And these people, these weirdos out in Hollywood, they take pleasure in it. They're like, I have control over their past. I have control over their memories. I have control over this and that. Yeah, but we have control over your wallets because we have the money. We have more power. People want to say we are Legion. I say we are fans. We are world-class bullshitters fans. We are the community that can make or break your sorry ass. Do not get too haughty. Do not allow yourself to think you've won the battle because entertainment is a business, as stated before by me. And in the search for more money, you have to always be producing. ABP. Instead of ABC, always be closing. This isn't Glengarry Glen Ross. This is not an all-male cast. This is the real world, and Disney wants money. Rian Johnson, a tweet like that hurts the Disney streaming service. The Disney streaming service is the future for Disney, apparently, and they cannot allow themselves to be hurt by his round-headed stupidity. But that's what it's going to do. Hey guys, get the new Disney Play streaming service. We have The Mandalorian and we have Star Wars The Last Jedi. Maybe The Mandalorian sounds cool, but I don't like The Last Jedi. I feel like The Last Jedi will be the least promoted film down the road. It's still the newest saga film, and it's everywhere. But the implications, the ramifications felt from that film have not ended yet. You think, it's almost been a year. No. It's been a year in the real world, and though Twitter, a year is like a millennia, the constant barrage of stupidity from that man and all who defend him will constantly keep the wound open and fresh, and it stings. And there are always going to be new, better hot takes on these stupid people. I said my piece, the first one. See, that's why you got to catch Good Morning Pop Culture live. Yes, it's a time commitment, but damn it, you get all the best news stories that you want to hear. And a pretty damn good package, I may say so myself. But again, it's not something I do alone. It's a group effort. It's a community thing. I'm not afraid to say that World Class Bullshitters succeeds because of everybody who is involved with it. Yes, I do the legwork, but you guys inspire me to do said legwork, and so we produce a great thing together. And that's another reason why I could cancel this show and do only videos, but that would hurt us and hurt you, and it would not continue to grow this community stronger. Alec Baldwin is scum. Alec Baldwin's a dick. I don't like Alec Baldwin. Yeah, you were good in Beetlejuice and The Shadow, and you somehow nabbed Kim Basinger, who is one of the all-time beauties, but my God, you are a piece of trash. That's a celebrity. You guys dislike Rian Johnson. I dislike Alec Baldwin. I don't even care about his politics. You don't say shit like that to your kids. I can't forgive that. I could understand being angry, even a little drunk, but they're your children. You don't talk like that to your mom. You don't talk like that to your kids or your wife. That is why Alec Baldwin has been divorced and he's got anger issues. And if celebrity boxing ever comes back, sign me up. Me, Jeff Hicks, versus Alec Baldwin. I'm a lot bigger than Alec Baldwin. I'm a lot younger. And your political rage against Donald Trump does not imbue you with the strength of all of Hollywood, because I'll just hit you and you'll be done. So Alec Baldwin, you are trash to me. I'm sorry that I've gone off on that little rant, but somebody posted in the chat, and whenever I see the name Alec Baldwin, my mind switches to the Match Game, which you're shit. You're not Gene Rayburn. You're nobody. And then I liked a couple of your movies, but you are an asshole. So Alec Baldwin, I hope you continue to fall down drunkenly, and when you do pass out, no one's going to be there to pick you up. You've done this to yourself, and I have no sympathy for you. So may God have mercy on your soul, and goodbye. You are the weakest link. There is no strength in Hollywood. Tim Riggs says, Alec Baldwin versus Donald Trump Celebrity Deathmatch. Ooh, I used to love that show so much. Celebrity Deathmatch. Press 1 if you guys remember Celebrity Deathmatch on MTV. I watched it sparingly because I didn't have cable as a kid. But when I got cable, or excuse me, DirecTV, because it wasn't cable, it's DirecTV, in 2000, they would still show reruns of that. I'd watch it all the time. Man, Celebrity Deathmatch was a fantastic show. Dr. Coffin Nails, I'm glad you'd pay good money to see that because you've met me. You know what's up. But Tim Riggs, I would love to see Celebrity Deathmatch make a comeback on another non-MTV channel because MTV had that stupid video, Dear White Men, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, that's really in bad taste. And I'm not a white man. I just find that really stupid. Don't disparage your fan base because you're trying to be hip and woke. Woke equals broke. And MTV, I don't think you guys can afford to keep the politics going. People watch you for Teen Mom and Jersey Shore and what is that, Alabama, Florida Shore or some other hillbilly bullshit. They watch it for those. They don't need to be talked down to by people dumber than the audience. I mean, MTV is the epitome of glorification of stupid people. Why is Snooki a millionaire? Because she's a hoe. Why is JWoww a millionaire? Because she's associated with Snooki. Why is Kim Kardashian famous? Because of her sex tape. It's so easy. Here's my rules for living in terms of celebrities. Don't pay attention to the ones that are stupid. There's a lot of them that are stupid. Most of them are. So basically ignore them. What do you learn from Kim Kardashian? Nothing. What do you learn from Snooki and JWoww? What do you learn from The Situation? What do you learn from all of these people? It's not a female thing. There are more dumb dudes than smart dudes. So there are more dumb women than there are smart women. But all the dumb ones get glorified on reality TV and all these other things. Just because they look good, it's like the opposite in nature. You know how they say if something's brightly colored, stay away from it, it's dangerous. In the real world, if something looks that good on TV, they're probably pretty stupid. I don't know what happened to the music aspect of music television. I know they say music videos are better on YouTube and all this stuff. I get it, but MTV, for a while, actually produced some really good shows. I really enjoyed Jackass. I loved Punk'd. Pimp My Ride was fun. There were a lot of shows on MTV that I watched through high school that really weren't music-based, but they had some. Like, I really liked Making the Video. I would watch the making of music videos for music videos I don't like. My favorite Making the Video was the MTV Without Me one. I think I watched it like 30 times. Whenever that would air, I would watch it. I fucking love that song. I like the making of. I used to love Eminem. He's another person. How did Eminem get political? He used to talk about Vicodin and all this other crap in his rap videos. And now he's like talking about how he's he's like a Jimmy Kimmel. Why is he the moral center in all this? He's not. None of these people are. I know this seemed like a politically charged episode, but god damn it, it's election day. You go make up your own minds. I'm not here to tell you how to vote or do whatever you want to do. You go, you listen to that voice inside of your head. If you have multiple voices, I do suggest you go see a doctor. But these celebrities, these people out in Hollywood, entertainment should not dictate politics. I advocate that we just, on election day, we take everyone's phones, we make them wait, and, the next day we give them their phones back. Also, tape their mouths shut and don't feed them for a day. That's okay. They starve themselves. It's okay. Viva La Bam. I liked that show. I bought it on DVD. I'll never forget, I was a senior in high school, and we had the day off, so I went to Best Buy. I was like, I got a job. I want to buy something. So for some reason, I bought Viva La Bam on DVD and ran into a couple dudes I went to high school with. See, people get old, they can't help themselves. Let's see. It's like Snoop Dogg and gun control. Does he really have a gun control platform? I listened to a song the other day where he talks about having the biggest nuts. It's like these people forget who and why they became famous. Believe me, Snoop Dogg didn't become famous because of his good looks and charming personality in politics. No, he's a good rapper. That's why he's famous. He's a little entertaining, but he's not a good actor. A lot of these people make it to the table on one thing, and then they go, it's like when you get it's like Bruce Willis. Oh, I'm an actor, but I'm also a singer. But I'm also this, but I'm also that. I'm also a broom. There's so many things that these people want to, I'm this, I'm that, I'm a businessman. I got to make business deals, all this shit, Eddie Murphy reference. I think the best people are the ones who let you know who they truly are. I'm an actor. I play fake roles. I do this. I do that. Or if you are more than that, be likable. Be a Paul Rudd. Be The Rock. Be somebody that when you're in public, people like you. I mean, I like Paul Rudd. If I saw him in a Walmart, I'd be like, man, Paul Rudd, you're cool. I wouldn't freak out for a lot of celebrities. Maybe The Rock. Maybe Pierce Brosnan. But the other guys, like Paul Rudd. If I met Paul Rudd, I'd be like, man, You're a good dude. I don't think there's anybody in the world that dislikes you because of the way you present yourself. And he'd probably smile and say thanks. And that would be it. And that's all I would expect. Present yourself in a Paul Rudd manner. Because Paul Rudd is not the butt of any jokes, but he's also a very successful movie star who was big before Marvel, and he will continue to be big. Paul Rudd is the man. The Rock is the man. And there are tons of female actresses out there who are just as good. But I don't find myself as entertained by anybody as The Rock or maybe Paul Rudd. So that's the example. Be a Jeremy. Coming at you with another video. My favorite part of when Ivan made that is Jeremy's expression does not change in any of those clips. Like when I'm going to eventually go on camera, I decided that instead of me using a webcam or something crappy, and I'm not blaming anybody else for having low production quality, Black Friday, what am I going to actually get? A DSLR, a nice one. I'm going to hook that up. I'm going to get the proper mic and the lighting, and I'm going to turn this office into a studio. Very small studio, but still, I noticed that another key to success is to pump out videos in a fast manner. I know you guys like the editing I do, and I love to do it too, but it takes time. Like that video that, not a lot of people are watching, sadly, that I pumped out about the Boba Fett, that took like 8 hours to produce, and only 30 minutes was to record it and edit it. Maybe 50. My point is, it took a lot of time to get that stuff prepared. And I don't want to become irrelevant because it takes forever to produce timely content. So I have to put myself on camera. Thankfully, I'm not camera shy. Kind of a ham when it comes to that. So be prepared for that in the coming future. But we'll have a lot of fun with that. So The Rock has a new competition show. Well, Muttered Meat Seeks, I'll admit, for as much as I sit and praise how much I like The Rock, I don't really watch much that he does. I'll go see a Fast and the Furious movie. I'll go see this. I'll go see that every once in a while. But I don't watch everything he does. But I'm just such a fan of him as a wrestler from back in the day that goodwill's carried over. That's just, it was a huge moment in my life. Thank you, Jez Oldfield. I'm glad you liked the Boba Fett video. Folks, do me a favor. I appreciate everyone watching it. If you could give it a thumbs up and always comment, even if it just says hi or something dumb, because comments and likes and stuff really do help with the algorithm. So maybe if I want to make more controversial shit, I can get the people talking about it. But it always has a great thumbs up to thumbs down ratio. It's like 99% or 9. It's always in the 90s in terms of like to dislike. We're always kicking ass there, and I'm really, really thankful for all that you guys like the message. Please continue to watch it and just share it. Like I said in the video, even if you have one social media follower, just let people know that we exist. We're not going anywhere. Our community's stronger. We keep moving up in many different ways, so we're very proud of that. And again, thank you very much. But Alphamar Datillos, I want John Cena to be a part of the MCU. Am I weird? I have some good news for you, Alphamar. John Cena has been a part of the MCU the entire time. You just couldn't see him. I feel like that's the perfect way to end the show, but I won't. I'd like to thank our friend superfan Adam Shawhan. He says, in a world of all these douchey celebrities, be a Jeff Hicks. Yes, be a Jeff Hicks. What does that mean? Be decent to people, work towards a goal, have a little fun. If you got to do bad shit, do it in Red Dead Redemption or Grand Theft Auto, because, no one's really hurt. It's a bunch of binary code, a 1 and a 0. When you, when you shoot up that marshal, no one actually is hurt. No one's actually hurt. So, I think the best message I can give everyone comes from Bill and Ted. Be excellent to each other. Today is a very testy time. The world's going to be, honestly, it's going to be the same tomorrow. You're going to wake up, you're going to get to work. The people that actually have to make this country run, you guys are up, you're working and lurking, you're on your way to school to better yourselves, or because you're young and you legally have to go to school. That's fine. School's a good thing. I like school. Shit, I actually played around with the idea of going back to school. You never know. Anything is possible. But remember, no matter what happens today, no matter how many douchey celebrities try to tell you what to do, always be true to yourself. Enjoy the content that you have always enjoyed. If you got to go back and watch an old movie, go back and watch the old movie. Don't give up on everything. There will be gems, but vote with your wallet. Let people know that this new shit just is that shit. Don't buy into it. Do what you feel is right. And if it smells funny, it's probably brie cheese and it's probably funky and rotten. Yeah, it's ooey and gooey and it seems cool, but it tastes nasty. So do not touch. So, folks, I think that is the perfect way to end this show because I'm going to go take my grandma to lunch in a little bit. So I think a 4-minute shorter show is okay. So, folks, thank you to everybody who has helped support this channel. Thank you to everyone who sent in a super chat. Thank you to everyone who spent your morning with me. I've noticed an upswing in viewers as we continue to push forward with this show. So I would like 1,000 people to watch each morning. I don't know what I got to do to make it happen, but I'm going to make it happen. Then, too, I have 75,000 subscribers on this channel. Actually, 76 if you look at the secret numbers. So what can we do to get 76,000 people to watch at one time? I don't know. Use the Force or some shit like that. But thank you to everyone who is here every single day. I appreciate all your contributions to the channel. And I will be back tonight on the High Council Geeks and Gamers channel, and then I got a video coming out tomorrow. And don't forget, Thursday night, World Class Bullshitters, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Doomcock is the 5th bullshitter for the evening, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Our show's been getting better and better as we poke fun at Dion, my best friend, about horses and all this other happy horse shit. As he gets more and more afraid, we're going to bring in Doomcock to terrorize my best friend. Why? Because he's my best friend. And if I love you, I terrorize you. So, folks, thank you again for everything you've done, and I'll be back tomorrow with more.